All praises to the Most High. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Give me a second. Please click the like button. Click the like button. We have a lot to discuss. Sorry, I'm just reading something right now. You know, those people are still talking about the Messiah that just came back. A lot of stuff happened, and we are about to getting in and some heavy stuff. And shalom, nation. Shalom, shalom. Welcome. Thank you, brothers. Thank you. Give me a second. I will uncover this thing. It's all black. I know. Give me a moment. I'll be back. Enjoy. Shalom. Yeah. Yeah. We are going to read the pillar of salt, the pillar of fire, letter 5. We have a lot in there. Yes, brothers and sisters, please click that like button. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. Yes. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome. It is good to be here. Thank you for being here. We are about to seek the Most High face. But before we begin, we give a little moment for the rest of the nation to join us. And we are going to talk about certain things. Yes, brothers and sisters, the Messiah is back. He's over there in the land. You know, he's performing like some sort of miracle by kissing men and wearing masks and do all that nonsense over there. So a lot of you may not be aware, but we knew for a fact, we knew all those things were, they were going to happen. A lot of people are dismayed, and they moved. Over here, we are not dismayed, and we are not moved. So today's the 7th, and then 2 more days. Friday, my main channel is going to be back, so that's where we're going to do everything. This is the backup channel for everybody that do not know. If you're a new subscriber, we have a main channel. Okay, it's called. You might as well go ahead and go over there and excuse me, and disconnect this. You might as well go ahead over there and check it out. Let me see. All right, good. We got that out of the way. Good. So, brothers, there have been a lot of things going on, especially over there in the third part. I will just um clarify certain things. Thank you, brother Peter, for tomorrow. Tomorrow is our fast day. If you wish to participate in the fast with us, we fast every Thursday to repent for our sin, and it's every Thursday from sunrise to sunset. All right, and we're going to fast now, brothers. If you are aware of this quote unquote Messiah out there, and you're also called a Christian, and you're still supporting those people, and you're still going to church. And you're still saying, when you watch this, you say it is true, the Messiah has come back. COVID, this disease, this plague, and it's no longer existed. There is peace upon this earth, and everything is good. And nothing happened. Everything that you see is some type of illusion happening in the Matrix and some alien computers. One of those scumbag conspiracy theories out there. If you still follow that, which shows you how strong your delusion is. We've been telling those people for years and years to cleave unto us and cling unto our God. We are your blessing. We are the blessing. You cannot get to the Father by just walk up to him like this without cleaving unto his people. It doesn't work like that. We are a special people unto our Father. Your church lied to you. And if you need more proof, the Messiah will prove. You got 3.5 years to get a hell of a lot more proof, and you will get them. You see, you thought like the so-called 2020 was some kind of fluke, and then you finding out like 2020 is a hell of a lot more worse. 2021 is already worse than 2020. Okay, in 2021, you find out like your own people started World War III by breaking into the Capitol. We told you the Capitol invasion. It wasn't some security stuff. They actually invaded. This is actually upon you guys. This has nothing to do with us. That's why we stay out of it. So we will begin a little bit more. We left. We'll wait for more people to get here so we can start this podcast, the story. You see, you people never give praises to the Messiah. You raise white Jesus, aka Cesare Borgia, on top of the Most High. You see, you want the Most High power, but you want to come to him with your own term. You know the Most High is the true power, but you want to tell him what to do. You want to give him orders. And you see how the things are going on out there, brothers and sisters. You'll be a fool to just sit in there and saying things are better than ever. The whole world is doing better every day. Children are still going to school. The churches are not being molested. You saw that video of those pastors and priests. They're shutting down their churches. In England over there, I believe in in the UK, and there was like a priest or something. They were having a Easter service. The police just entered and they shut them down. Over here in the America, they had some stuff, some things going on, and this pastor was crying and stuff. Oh, you would take the whole United States Army to shut me down. You see what they do, brothers? They took our prophecies and they allied themselves with our prophecies. Like that thing that happened over there between Haitian and those people. They think that's somewhat that's the 400 years prophecy. Blasphemy. 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 You can't take the 400 years and copy it and paste it onto you and your people. It won't work. It would not work, brothers. It can't work. You see, you're going to have to answer for this. You will answer for this, and you are answering for this. Father shutting you down, no matter what you do, you will fight it. You're all fighting it, but it's a losing battle. You see, Father's wearing you out, tenderizing the meat. I woke up this morning, I watched a video by that fellow Mafugo News. He's out of his mind. He's dismayed. And he started telling people, well, they are calling me a fearmonger and stuff. And yes, you are a fearmonger. You're not bringing your people peace. How do a Gentiles like Mafugo News should bring his people peace? Tell them you cleave unto the people and you cleave unto their God. And then they'll be at peace. That tell them that's the only way to be at peace. You over there tell them what's going to happen, and then they thinking those people over there are the true people, and then they think like if they pray for them, and nothing's going to happen to them, and it's quite the opposite. See how the Most High is destroying those people. The Most High is destroying them, and they don't like it. Yeah, they've been doing this for a while, Bridget. Ally prophecies with themselves, lies upon lies. What the? It's all over there, all the way up over there. Lies upon lies. I never. Whoa. Lies upon lies, brothers. Those people are lying. He gave me. Let me see. I didn't check this. Give me a one if you can hear me and see me clearly, because it seems like I'm picking up some stuff in here, and this wasn't supposed to be like this. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Good. All right. Good. Yeah. This wasn't supposed. Thank you. Okay. So now those people are seeing that things are not getting better. They're not getting good at all. And they are still elevating. They are still giving those people over there praises. They are still doing things for Cesare Borgia. And it's not going to work, brothers. It's not. Yeah. That Mafugonus fellow is out of his mind. He was telling the people, oh, look at what happened. Look, brothers, those people are sad because this is happening. We are happy. We want this to happen. That's how you know who's dismayed, who's moved, who's in trouble, and who's not. Our people are very happy. People are sending me email left to right, say, brothers, W3. It's in the midst. It's already begin. People think like when they, you know what they are waiting for, brethren? They are waiting for their leaders to say, I declare, just like George W. Bush did, I declare war on Afghanistan, on Iraq, and all that. That's what they're waiting on, so it will be official. It's already been happening ever since you people invaded the capital. It was symbolic. The Mosai shoot a ley line from Davos Tower all the way up to Washington. We made a video about this. Brothers, thing is real out there. Stay out of it. You can't pray for those people. You're not the Mosai. You cannot save them. The Mosai has spoken. You bow down, you submit unto it. That's it. There is no, I don't know about this. I will not forgive the Mosai, as if you have some type of power to do this. Or I will pray against the Mosai hand. I will turn away his hand and stuff. Bull. You learn a lot of garbage that you people learn into church, and then you think you can come over here and prayers and thoughts with the chosen people. Oh, really? You think that's how it works? You think that's what that is? You think like you can just pray away your judgment? You can pray away your tribulation? You can just offset your destruction by just a few thoughts and prayers, and then that's it. You see, you people used to get away with this nonsense because you were under the blessing. Now the blessing is gone. The blessing is gone. From 1619 to 2019, the blessing was gone. Well, you were running on fume. When you enter in 2020, you were running on fume. Till now, you're not running anymore. Everything stopped. It's just like you're making noises with your mouth. You're acting like the car is driving, and then everybody's watching you like, what? The car stopped. Car stopped. For those of you that want to know about the true Gog and Magog, which mean the Gentiles, that has nothing to do with Russia and then stuff. The Big Judah did a video 2 years ago on this. I was listening to the Holy Spirit sent me both of those videos. Let me put the link in the description so you people can listen. Actually, in the subject that we are going right now, they are talking about Gog and Magog. You see. For those of you who are just, let me show you. I was just walking around and you cannot see it, but there's a dragon firing a fire. So this is part 2. Okay, so it's called The Judgment of Gog and Magog, or Gog and Magog, Scriptural Breakdown Part 2. Okay, this is from Big Judah 2 years ago. He uploaded this video on October 4th, 2018. The book of Ezekiel 39 gave the definition of Gog and Magog. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. The beloved brother did this, and then those people are saying that, look, whatever's happening over there, it's their destruction. That's the destruction. No, you're right, sister. You're right. It's their destruction. Gog and Magog, that means the 2 class of Gentiles, and you will see them in this book. They will talk about who Gog and Magog, Ezekiel 39. It's in there. Those guys came to Egypt to learn, and Sesostris saw them at the end of the chapter. You will see them. Okay, so now, brothers, that we clear that out, let us at the end at 10 o'clock, somebody remind me so I can give some of that praise report, some of the people been saying. And we got a new book that just arrived and things like that. So those people, they have no power. Okay, before all this destruction of Gog and Magog and all that nonsense, the rapture was supposed to happen, but it didn't. All right, a little bit of background. This is the pillar of fire. We are going to study letter 5. I was just finished letter 5, page 54. In letter 4 we learn that in letter 4 we learn how to properly walk and talk, and how to address the queen, how the cultures and custom and things like that. Now we're going to see the military might of Egypt 4, 5, 6,000 years ago I don't know how long this thing is, how old is this thing is. Shalom, beloved brothers. Thank you. Welcome for, thank you for being here. We are going to see the military mic, and we're going to see how those people used to party back then. There are some clues they put in there. There are something they put there. You have to get the Holy Spirit upon you to understand what they say. They refer Gog and Magog. Those guys were there in that time learning under the Egyptians the art of war and all that stuff. They give their name here. And then if you go in the book of Ezekiel, verse 39, for somebody, please get ready, while you are here, while you can search, get ready to get the name of the princes of Eliphaz, Tubal, and let me see their name. They have it here. That's letter 4. Letter 5. Which one is it? Letter 5. Please get the scripture that I believe is in the book of Ezekiel and Isaiah. The scripture that talk about, so when we ask it, so we will be ready to have it. They even talk about Abraham, but they refer to him as Abram. Abram. Okay, so the name of young prince of Tarshish, the Duke Chilmed, Sheba, the Dukes Javan and Tubal. Javan and Tubal, or Javan, Javan and Tubal. The Lord of Meshech, and the Prince of Midian. Okay, and then they got the Eliphaz of Teman. The Lord of Uz came into Egypt with a great retinue and train of servants. Okay, the Lord of Uz. They don't give the name of this dude, but it's you know those guys. They are in the book. Those are Gog and Magog, Gog and Magog people. Those are two classes of Gentiles. All right, now, brothers and sisters, we left in Ezekiel chapter 39. I think their name is in chapter 39. All right, now let us begin, brothers. So this is, let me get this thing off my ear. This is all right, brethren. This is Sesostris, Prince Sesostris, writing to his mother, Queen Epithia of Phoenicia. All right. So let me just get this a little bit down right here. Okay, this is Sesostris writing to his mother, Epithia of Phoenicia. Sesostris is in Egypt. He's 28 years old. He's studying under there, so he's writing the mother. Now, brothers, there's a lot of word we're going to define. Somebody put get ready when we say those words so you can define it for us, because I haven't looked them up. Let us study. This is page 54. Study to show thyself approved unto YAHAWAH. Page 54, letter 5. My ever beloved and royal mother. In my last letter, I described to you, as well as the feebleness of language would admit, my presentation to the queen Amensi, and the splendors of her court and palace. In Syria, we have no approach to this Egyptian magnificence, unless it is to be found in Tadmor, the city of the Euphrates, country which travelers call a single temple the size of a city. And Tadmor, brothers, they got a temple, a single temple, which is the size of a city. Brothers, this is big. This is big. The Egyptian has way bigger things. When you look at the Egypt that you're talking about, say, there ain't no way on earth those people or that Egypt that he's talking about. A single temple is the size of a city. That's how big those temples were back then. And he's going to give more description. And then you're going to understand that a lot of those things that they were saying, that you're seeing and the third part of Egypt doesn't match at all. The peculiarity of Egypt architecture is very striking. It has an air of ponderous majesty, being in all in its proportions colossal. Yet this massive aspect is relieved by shaping the stone and marble in the most graceful lines and enriching with sculpture, either in relief or intaglio. They find this word intaglio or intaglio. 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 I'm not quite sure what that word means. Intaglio. The immense surfaces of the gigantic columns and enormous propyla and all the temples and palaces I have yet seen there. Two species of column chiefly prevail, one of which, this being the most ancient style, is fluted and composed of a single shaft with the capital of the shape of opening pomegranate, the reflexive edges being imitation of the opening floor of the lotus. So what they did here, the architectures of the Egyptian, it imitates nature. He come up with a place. They shape some marble and stuff. They look like an open lotus. A lotus a lotus is a flower. Okay, and Leo, a design and size or engraved into a material. Yes, so a design increase or engrave in the material. So they what they do, they engrave the design of a lotus in one of those giant marbles. So that's what the way they are shaping the stuff. That's he's describing the temple. You won't see none of this stuff over there in the third part of Egypt, and the Egypt and the third part. It's just like it's just a giant pyramid, and then a couple pyramids there, and then a bunch of desert, sand, camel, and then literally occasionally some dudes digging a hole and sit over that hole and squat over this hole and pushing real hard. The other column introduced by the present dynasty is always colossal, but it is this massiveness is relieved by being strided. Define this word, strided. I'm not quite sure that's how to pronounce it. Striated. Strided. Striated. By being strided, which give the mass the appearance of being composed of united stems and increased by horizontal belt of bands cut into stone, which seems to tie them together under the capital and in the middle. So what he's saying here, he said, those rocks, those things that they build, they are so heavy that the size of them are so big and huge. It's like, how do those people move those things? They're all big and they are beautifully put there. They are beautifully woven together with everything. How did they move this? You know, it's like technically it's telling you those people have some type of supernatural way of moving those rocks. And we know for a fact that Atlantean knew 12,000, 10,000 years ago, they knew the secret of gravity, which is the ley line. They can use it to move whatever they please. That is why when we detonated the atomic bomb way back in Atlantis, we used the ley line. The atomic bomb that we detonated was a electromagnetic mystical bomb. It was electromagnetic bomb plus the war sides of it. It was mystical. Mystic mean like some part that is that you don't know this part, which is the ley line. They they will fuse this atomic bomb and then they supercharge it with the spiritual realm. They use the spiritual realm energy to supercharge the bomb. That is why he took the whole ocean, the whole continent down. Strided it, mark which stride, furrowed, strip, streak. So they were a line in there, and the rocks and stuff. like strip of line, like Adidas and stuff like that. So he's describing the temple. All right. Just above the square or round plinth. I'm not quite sure what this word means. Plinth. Plinth, plinth. The base of the shop itself is rounded and adorned with leaves, which is the appearance of growing up from the plinth. You can judge of the combined grandeur and grace of such columns, dear mother, by imagining several buds of the walls of Palestine set like a cups, one upon another, and upon the top of all lotus flower. This is so beautiful. What he said here, brothers, when the people that build those things, back then there were a group of people that build this. The way they build it, they shape, they tied up the rocks like nature. They imitate flowers, like lotus flowers. The whole rocks were shaped like it was like a stone gardens, one of the temple. Okay. Plinth, slab-like member beneath the base of a column of pier. Yeah, they was shaping those slab and then tied up with the, racking in it. They were a straight line, beautiful, polished, colorized. Not like that brown, like plain brown. It was so much color. It was like many colors. And we know for a fact, brothers, in the book of Joshua, I believe Joseph's mother made him, or his father, I believe his father. Was it his mother? I believe his mother made him a coat of many colors. Right now, you can't wear that coat anywhere. A man like me wear a coat of many colors that people will get the wrong idea. People will get the wrong idea. You wear a coat, a rainbow coat, that has all the color in there, and then the certain neighborhood you walk in there, people will have the wrong idea about this. So our people love all colors. The rainbow is a beautiful symbol of the Most High, the Most High bow. He established this bow with Noah. He said Noah will never destroy the earth with water again, but with fire. And then he gave him the bow. So anytime you see a bow, which means the rainbow, that's the Most High bow. He put it there. You can't wear a shirt of many colors, brothers. People will have the wrong idea. They'll see you walking and say, it's like, whoa, I didn't know Big Levi was a big bear. Let us move in, brothers and sisters. Beautiful symbol of the Most High, but hey, it's been perverted. All right. On the abacus, they define this word abacus, Abucus. On the abacus of the columns, which form so prominent and universal of a future and Egyptian architectures, rests a board but simple architrave, usually sculpted with hieroglyphics, illustrate subject connected with the deity of the temple. So what those guys, the way he just explained it plainly, brothers. When you look at the wall, the everything that they had in there, it's like it's all beautiful. The colors. They have a physical stone temple look like a garden. They actually copy a stone look like a garden. Okay, so he's describing all those things. All right. Usually, this is page 55. Usually, the great line of Egyptian edifice are straight. This is what it says here. Usually, the great lines of Egyptian edifices are straight, and their temples are quadrangles with avenues of mighty columns extending from pylon to pylon and a succession of inner courts. This series of vast and magnificent vestibules sometimes extended half a mile. Their avenues bordered by fixes and columns alternately until the great fane of the temple in which they are, the approach is reached. So you got those guys building those type of temple half a mile, a quarter of a mile. It's big, man. Abacus, a device for making arithmetic calculations consisting of frames set with rods and with balls or beads are moved. Oh, okay, all right. the abacus is like a calculator. Okay, it's like a calculator. It's like an ancient calculator. I remember this. I don't know why that escaped me. It's like an ancient calculator. So they got like those beads. You see those little thing that have two bar and they got a bunch of beads in there, and then you're moving them. You can calculate 1 plus 1, and then at the bottom you take away 2, and then one over there is being divided. That's what he's talking about. So he's describing the whole thing to his mother. Now, this is page 56, and I'm just skipping stuff, okay? Yeah, with beads in the wall, so that's what he's describing. The scale, okay, of the scale of architecture is so vast that even the innumerable sculpture objects by which walls, columns, and entablatures are covered do not interfere with the grandeur of the whole effect. Moreover, the heaviness which would adhere to such massive edifices in Syria disappear when they are seen through the crystalline medium of this Egyptian atmosphere. He told the mother, said, Mom, those things, those Egyptian houses over there are so huge, so big, and so they are what you thought we have over there in Syria and what we have over there in Syria and also in Phoenicia. When you look through the eyes of the crystalline eyes of Egypt, those things disappear. They are so minim. Yes. Wait, whatever. All right. Oh boy. That's how big the thing is, okay? There is another peculiarity, my dear mother, of Egyptian architectures, which no one can contemplate without an increased expression of awe. I allude to the dromos or double rows of sphinxes, figures of which I have already spoken, and of which we have no idea in Syria, though an Assyrian noble. Listen to this, brothers. Okay, he said he's explaining to the mother that they have no idea what's going on over there in Egypt. And um he's gonna explain to the mother what happened. He said, there is another peculiarity, my dear mother, of Egyptian architectures, which no one can contemplate without an increased impression of awe. I allude to the dromos of the double rows of sphinxes, figures of which I have already spoken, and of which we have no idea in Syria, though an Assyrian noble who I met in Sidon, Tyre and Zidon. This is that Sidon. Those are nation. Those are heathens nation. Those are the people that made a part of Gog and Magog, Gog and Magog, the Zidon, the Italian, the Phoenician. Okay, I met in Zidon or Sidon, described to me reposing colossi with majestic heads of kings and body of lions, as guarding the approach of the temple of the gods of his country. Such mysterious compound of the human form with a lion or ram, denoting the union of intellect with strength, are to be encountered here before every temple. So he told the mother, he passed a place. There's two rows of sphinxes, and we know in Egypt they probably show us one sphinxes, that famous one working nose sphinxes. When Napoleon claiming to get there, he saw the nose of the sphinx was he saw it was black, and Napoleon has a problem with quote unquote black people. Okay, he had a problem with AKA Toussaint Louverture, one of our ancestors, and then he shoot the nose off. He wasn't shooting it for target practice. You don't go to a place that you're trying to swagger jack and steal everything that they have, and then you start shooting and breaking the place down before you pillage it. You shoot the nose off. That's what the legend said. And we know for a fact that things over there is not that Egypt. This Egypt that they're describing here is here on the fourth part. Now, he's describing there's so much stuff they made out of granite and stuff. And he said something, brothers. He said when you're walking, the city is so alive. It's not like that when they show you in the movie, you put you see, yeah, all those things that they just put those things over there. Those things that you see in the land of Egypt, they just put them there. Those things, couple hundred years, not even couple hundred years ago, in the 1800s, they weren't there. They recently put those things there in the 1900s. In the 1900s, that's why you never really find any article in it about Egypt or being over there in the 1800s. Early 1900, when they not invented, when they swagger jack the pulley system, and then they bring a bunch of they bring a bunch of blocks, and then they build that top things over there, and then try to align and give stuff like that. They brought it over here because it was here, you know. So he said, the when you're walking in the temples in the place of the Egyptians, and both sides there are sphinxes. The floor is made out of marble. It's like ceramic. It's like ceramic. It's everywhere. There's no dust. Technically, he tell you there's no dust. It's not dusty and sandy. It's lush. It's greeny. The it's like the grass is beautiful. Is well cut, and then it's aligned with the ship. Everything is there, and there are so many people walking around. There are priests. There are people coming other places. People are coming in. People are going out. The whole place, brother, was alive. The whole place was alive. So when he came in, he's walking and then he's describing all those things to the mother. Now, this is what he said. He said this is one of the things. I'm just double check. He said all the rest of the space was paved and adorned with fountains, statues, and fruit and flower trees growing from large alabaster vase. Priests and worshippers moving in all directions through this and the other courts. He said, this is so beautiful. The Egypt this guy is describing, it's like they are so brothers. He said they made a temple shaped like a garden, a stone garden with a real garden in the midst. In the both sides, there are sphinxes, there are fountains, water, there are trees. You can just pick up fruit, start eating. There are flowers, and it smells so good. The pomegranate smell, you can walk around, you can smell the strawberry, you can smell the real nature. It smells so good, and everything is clean. People are well dressed and things like that because they were enjoying a blessing. They were enjoying, a certain blessing. They had a group of people that, were doing those things. It was beautiful, brothers. Not that desert place that you see over there. Okay, so this is another thing that he made. This is another thing he keep referring as in the land of Egypt. Okay, the cloudless sky of Egypt gives brilliancy to all the colors of nature, and this imitate on the walls of temple and palaces have a beauty and splendor that must be seen to be appreciated. So because the land of Egypt is rarely they have cloud. What happened here, brothers, is because what you keep seeing those people are spraying over there, they are hiding the splendor of Oriel. Because if the sun keep, if every morning you wake up, brothers, I upload a video on my other channels. It's the sun was so bright, the sun come very close. It's like you can just go ahead and touch the sun. The sun came in like a cross. You can see it's like a human and T-pose. It's like a human and T-pose. It was beautiful. I uploaded the video. The sky was blue. And he said, like, the ray of the sun, when it shot onto the colors glow. They are beaming. The colors are like they are radiating. It's so beautiful, the sun and stuff. That's why they're spraying things. You barely can see the freaking sun when you're walking around. The cloud are stretching and the earth and stuff like on the sky. They're messing up everything. All right. So this is he explaining granite materials, all sort of materials. Okay. There's a place they made a temple for Sesotasin first one. The adytum of the temple, which I am describing so minutely with description of the peculiarities of the architecture of the Egyptians. Knowing your architectural taste and curiosity about all such objects, my dear mother, was unlike any of the halls I had traversed, much smaller and yet far more beautiful than any of them. The reason why he give all those description, brothers, is because his mother, Queen Epithia of Phoenicia, is really into architectural, fashion, custom. You know, she's a woman. She's all into those things. And then now he gave the mother all the description, and then he told the mother this. Okay, let me see. Here we go. There after he described this is the one of the temple he was describing. The floor of this sumptuous chamber represent the listen to this. The floor of this sumptuous chamber represent the great circle of the sun through the 12 constellations. So 4, 5, 6,000 years ago, they had this knowledge because Abraham taught them about the sky. Abraham taught them how to worship the Most High. But Abraham used certain animal and then he fused it with certain men to explain things. Instead of them worship the Creator, they worship the creation. The floor of the sumptuous chamber represents the great circle of the sun through the 12 constellations, and also the images of the 7 planetary gods executed in the pavement with almost every variety of colored stone, such as the emeralds. Okay. Well, you see the 12 stone, they're going to give you the colors, such as the 12 planets, which is the 12th tribe, such as the emerald, Amintis, Agate, Lapis, Lazuli, roots of emerald, cornelian, green stone, ahematite, all intersect with gold, silver, and bronze. Brothers, he's describing a tablet, he's describing a map, a constellation map that he saw, the 12 constellation. Beautiful. It's woven with gold and silver, and all those dots, the stars, they made them out of precious stones. And then when the sun shine on it illuminating the whole room. You can see it brilliantly because they learned it from Abraham. Abraham taught them how to do this. Abraham taught them how to read the sky, how to properly worship the Most High, because some of Abraham's children were in the midst of them. Abraham has 8 sons. He taught all of them how to properly worship the Most High. They choose not to worship the Most High. For instance, Ishmael. No, wait, not Ishmael. Ishmael was for Isaac. Wait. Yes, no. Ishmael was the son of Abraham. Ishmael, Isaac, Midian, Joktan, 8 sons. All those 8 sons, brothers, all of them, the Abraham taught all of them equally how to worship the Most High. The only 2 of them that kind of like take it, well, Isaac take it how to worship the Most High properly. He studied under Shem and all the book of Jasher, and Midian. So Midian, his children went off. They become the Midianite. Jethro was actually a Midianite, a sons of Abraham. Jethro taught Moses about all the 10 commandments, all the everything, because Abraham taught Jethro. Melchizedek taught Abraham. Abraham taught Jethro. Jethro taught Moses. Moses studied under Jethro for over 30 years. So Abraham taught them everything. And then before all of that, Melchizedek, old man Enoch taught Methuselah. Old man Enoch taught Methuselah. Methuselah taught Noah. Noah taught Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They all been teaching, brothers. It's just they reject the Most High. Ishmael, the son of Abraham, the first son, he doesn't worship the Most High. He created his own Most High. He called him Allah. He said, no, the blessing in the Quran, they admitted, they say the blessing of that went from Abraham go to Isaac, not to Ishmael. They say this straight up. They know this. That's why the Arabs are more inclined to believe, to give us credit and say we are the children of Israel. They know this. It's something that they taught them. They taught it in the Quran. They know that. But they choose to follow Allah. They make their own Mosai. Everybody does that, brothers. Everybody. They know for a fact the Mosai make everything. It's not like something we just find out about. You guys are, nope, they know that. They know this. They know this. They just want to come with their own rule. They'll take all the Mosai attribute and put it on a fake God and then make that God come alive with money, worship, and war and all that. Okay? So that's what that is. The Egyptians are, however, skillful astronomers. You heard that? The Egyptians are well, let me finish with this for you. Nothing could be richer. A sun of pure gold was placed in the center of this wonderful zodiac. So in the map of the heaven, they put all the planets, the stars, by precious stones, but our sun was in the middle of it, that was made of pure gold. It's not like something, a little map, brothers. That thing was a chamber. It was like a huge room, a huge wall, big ass thing. All the stones are like human-sized stone, and they made a giant circle, pure gold, representing the sun and this wonderful zodiac. If I may do term it, for I do not know whether it is true planetary configuration, which is represented with a fixed date, or simply arbitrary and execute as an ornament. The Egyptians are, however, skillful astronomers and have the skill in learning to interpret and thus record the ages of the past by the possession of the heavens. And you see Abraham blueprint, handprint, and all this. You see Enoch, because Enoch was Atlantean. So Enoch came in and taught them everything that the Messiah taught him when he was ruling the whole world before Atlantis and all that stuff. So Enoch taught them. Abraham learned this. Abraham taught them everything. So he assumed the Egyptians knew everything. They were master of the skies. The master of that's the proper name here. Skillful astronomers. They weren't. The Chaldean were known to be master astrologers. They weren't. They learn everything from us. They learn everything from us, okay? So, now he said, but my mother, my dear mother, page 59, last paragraph. But my dear mother, I will not longer occupy your time with temples and architectures. I have written of them sufficiently to give you an idea of the land I sojourn in. But my descriptions will enable you to form a more correct idea of such events as I may hereafter write about, and enable you, when I related scene and actions, to conceive in a measure to surrounded feature and aspect of this place. So he told the mother, Mom, I give you enough description of the temples, the city, and all that. I will no longer do this unless if I have to do so. Now, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, he's going to get into the Egyptian army. He's going to get into the Egyptian might. Now, I want you to understand. I want you to give me a number, brothers. Boy. What's there's a festival. Oh man. It's like the way he's described this, that's like downtown DC. He's describing the million man march. Okay, the Million Man March. Like, how many people that can fit in downtown, not that downtown DC, but in DC by the monuments, like 1 million people, so to speak, over 1 million. He's describing something that you see in Times Square. What's the biggest stadium that we have here? How many people can it hold? How many people the biggest stadium here can hold? I'm not quite sure which stadium is big, but I'm guessing 35,000 people, right? Am I getting that right? 2 million, Tennessee? Is it in Tennessee? All right. The biggest stadium and how much people can it hold? I'm not quite sure. Is it the stadium of Miami or somewhere? And then it's like 35,000 people. Stuff like that. 75,000. But anyway, Madison Square Garden, 200K, something like that. All right. Remember, the Hebrews by themselves in the midst of those people were over 2 million people. They were 2 million. And the Egyptians, Michigan Stadium, 100,000. All right, let's Michigan Stadium over 100,000 people. Now let's keep it a little bit simple. 100,000 people in one place, okay? All right, in one place. But 100,000 out of 2 million people, that's like barely 1%, because the Hebrews were 2 million by themselves, plus the other Gentiles were like in the millions. Like the land was loaded with people, like at least like 20 to 10 million people. Okay, they were all over. Now, if I were writing a volume of Egypt, I would then visit and describe all her magnificent temple, pyramids, obelisks, and stuff like that. So he said, like, if I have to, he said, mother, if I have to describe to you the whole city and stuff like that, it's gonna take me. I'm gonna write novels, volume after volume. That's how the city is big and beautiful. I shall therefore, for the future, only incidentally describe edifices, unless indeed I give you a letter upon the mighty pyramids and devoted my pen to sin passing around me. So he say he won't describe them anymore. He give enough describing, so he will go straight to business. All right. We'll keep the number around 100,000, 150,000. All right. Just to give an idea for those of you that ever go to one of those um games. So, any pursuance of this purpose, my dear mother, I will describe to you review of the army of chariots of iron. Now you will understand why the Messiah got that arm string. Somebody defined the word, the meaning of arm strings when you arm string a horse. Okay, he's describing the chariots of Egypt. All right. And pursuing of this purpose, my dear mother, I will describe to you the review of the army of chariots of iron, which follow my presentation to the queen. I will not be so vain as to suffer you to think that this superb spectacle was arranged purposely in honor of your son. Though, had it been so, it could have hardly have added to the honors which that august and courteous lady has shown upon me. But I feel like the distinction is due rather to the friendship which Ramesses, aka Moses, entertains me, than for any merit or claim of my own beyond my simple rank. So he said, Mom, what I'm about to describe to you here, don't think this grandeur, this spectacle of whoa was made specifically for me. No. It is more like Ramesses or Moses have a good heart, and then he brought me in the midst of this. This is like something they do, you know. For those of you, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't want to spoil things, but we'll get there. He said, this is what they did this because that's what they do. And Moses invited me in the midst of him and his mother so we can witness what they were doing. Because I have a simple rank. I'm just a prince. I'm a prince of Phoenicia, not even Egypt. Okay. The review in question was prepared for this day, and in order that I might witness it, the queen had graciously appointed the occasion for my presentation to her. Although in my account of that interview, I spoke only of myself, yet they had been presented just before I entered the palace several ambassadors, princes, and philosophers from various countries, including Arabia, Persia, Sheba, Javan, Iberia, Abyssinia, and the Isles of the Sea. Those are the Gags. Those are the Magog. Those are the Gog and Magog. Those nations that he's describing here. When he about to get out of the chamber, the palaces, and he saw multiple ambassadors, princes, philosophers coming all over the world. They come to party in Egypt, baby. Just like today, you go to Vegas, well, not today, a couple years ago. Vegas is nothing what it was a couple years ago. Just like a couple years ago, when you go to Vegas, you see all kind of scumbag come over there to party, to go to the casino, to do stuff and all that nonsense. And again, the Vegas is in the desert and stuff like that. But South Beach, when you go to, so you see all kind of scumbaggery and douchebags and coming over there and enjoy themselves. So he saw those people coming all over. He can tell by the way they dress, by the way they are, okay? They are coming. There's a party about to go on, man. Those people, they are getting together. These had come to Egypt either to enter the schools of philosophy, to negotiate terms of tribute of alliance, or to study the science of war, for which Egypt has become eminent, even rivaling the mighty Philistine armies and discipline, effect, and valor. So again, he said, those guys, they are coming here to study in the school, because Egypt back then was known as the mother of all civilization, which we know they are not. It's Atlantis. Egypt is a daughter of Atlantis. And before Egypt, there were so many cities. After Atlantis, Enoch went and put a camp in Egypt, and which is here, put a camp all over. Cities were all over. Lemuria, all of them. They were all birthed from, the first city that the Most High gave us, which was Atlantis. So all of this are birth, from them. And many other books you read, brothers, you're like, wait a minute. The Most High created everything perfect. They just degraded to now. This is the worst we ever had it now. So those guys come to study philosophy, negotiate terms, alliance, science of war, Egypt, and then that's why the other guy, Arabia, Persia, Sheba, Javan, Iberia, Abyssinia, and the Magog. Has nothing to do with that worship and stuff. But anyway, from the throne room, we passed out through a gateway. So all those high, caliber fellows, they were walking, and the prince was in the midst of them. So they are heading somewhere. From the throne room, we passed out through a gateway from which descended steps to the parade. So there's a parade now, a parade. There's a parade, okay? Like a 4th of July parade, okay? Which was vast square, capable of holding 100,000 men. That's the place they are passing. Is capable of holding 100,000 men, like that freaking stadium that we just said. While the colonnades around it would accommodate as many more spectators. He said this place is so big. It's just like somebody said, what downtown Washington can hold 2 million people marching and stuff like that. That 1 million march. It's a place like that he's describing. All right. The queen did not descend the steps, but took her seat by a statue of the god of war, upon a sword of a throne beneath a canopy supported by 6 bearers, to shield her from the sun, but Rameses, leaving me by the side of his royal mother, who also surrounded by her guard, and near whom stood the ambassadors and princes and philosophers, receiving from the attendant a helmet of gold, which he put over his silken bonnet, and formed another corselet of steel inlaid, mounted a war chariot and waiting, and casting a glance upon the field, look all at once the warrior prince, which the height of colors in his cheeks and proud carriage of his head showed he felt himself to be. So Moses came in, and then the queen did not descend from the steps. So the queen is on one of those chairs that you know, they got 6 bearers, okay, bearing the queen to a chair, and then you got like a canopy they put under her head because the sun was bright and stuff like that. And the queen is coming, and then Moses was standing over there in the chariot, you know, and then he was looking at the crowd, like proudly looking, and then the sun was blazing on his face, his cheek was shining. He was looking at the people, and everybody like, whoa, this is Moses the prince, you know. All those girls were running crazy. Everybody's, you know, paparazzis all over taking pictures and all that nonsense. You know, back then they were taking pictures with those giant freaking slab and those hammer and those picks. You know, those guys who look at you and then they just and then they just draw you with a freaking hammer and a stick. That's what that was back then. So Moses standing there looking at people like all proud and all that, beautiful dress, the mother, and then they are bringing them and they are going somewhere. Thus, whether a soldier of the head of the host of Egypt, a counselor by the throne, see, they are describing Moses here. They said, thus, whether he is a soldier at the head of the host of Egypt, a counselor by the throne of his mother, a courtier among the nobles, a philosopher in the academies, he is perfect in all things. As a son, he set an example of devotion and filial respect for the young men of the kingdom. As a man, his private character is pure from every vice, folly, and worthy of heir to the throne of the dominant kingdom of earth. There he goes again, brother. The guy keeps watching Moses. He's like, there is no way this guy is come from those Egyptians. Look, when you look at Moses, Moses was 34 years old. He already accomplished every single thing in life. That's what Moses thought. That's what Moses thought. Moses died 129 years old in the book of the throne of David. Remember when Moses died, brothers? For those of you who catch my drift. Remember how the Mosai took Moses, man? How the Mosai actually, killed Moses? Remember the funeral of Moses? Well, not the funeral. Remember when the Mosai came in and take Moses, the whole Moses. You know, remember that story in the book of the throne of David? It was beautiful, man. Oh, the Mosai beamed Moses, man. He beamed Moses like Star Trek. He beamed Moses with the send a cloud, wrapped Moses around. Moses levitated with his face glowing, with his white dreads. Moses had all big white dreads. His beard was, you know, covering his whole face. As Moses on T-pose is glowing, and the cloud wrap him around, and then it gone. Moses is gone. Beautiful. The sight of which Moses thought he knew everything, and when he was 34 years old, because he did. He was a perfect man. He studied everything. He beat everybody in everything, okay? The sight which the square represented surpasses my ability to convey to your mind of a just conception of. The vast area was 1/3 occupied by a division of chariots. Brother, 1/3 of the area, 1/3 of 100,000 was occupied by, what is 1/3 of 100,000, brothers? Yeah, whatever. 1/3 of 100,000, okay? The site which the square represents surpasses my ability to convey to your mind. And the vast area was 1/3 occupied by a division of chariots, okay? One third of 100,000, which how many chariots they have there. The chariots corps constitutes a very large and effective portion of the Egyptian army. Okay, 33,500 chariots, brothers. Can you imagine this 33 to somewhere around like over 33,000 brothers? 33,000 chariots. Each chariots have 2 people on them. That's like over 66,000 people just stand by. This is a procession right there. That's a lot of chariots, a lot of horses, brothers. 33,000 horses, brothers. 33. No, that's like each chariots are pulled by 2 horses. So you got over 66 or 67,000 horses. That's a lot of horses, man. That show you the might of Egypt, man. That's a lot of horses, and horses were very expensive. Asses was more expensive than a horse, but horses were like very expensive. The chariot corps constitute a very large and effective portion of the Egyptian army, like we said. Each car contained 2 soldiers. So now you got 33,000 of soldiers in there. It's 33,000 chariots. Each chariot has 2 people in them, which is somewhere around 67,000 people. For from the position I occupied, my eyes could take in a whole splendid scene besides the charioteer. The charioteer. The charioteer is the driver. So you got the guy that we explained this before. You got in the chariot, there's 2 people. The charioteer, which is the driver, and you got the guys that shoot the arrow. Okay, on the right side of the chariot, there is a quiver loaded with arrow. He can shoot on the right, and then he can flip in the back and go on the left. There is a quiver. He can shoot on the left. He can shoot in his back, and then he can shoot in the front. So the arrow, the chariots of the Egyptians were 360-degree shoot. Yeah, they were costly. Ancient chariots, they were very costly. Military chariots were like, they cost a lot of money to make. Okay? The car on which Ramesses stood was drawn by 2 horses, but without any charioteers, the reins being fastened to an upright spear. So Moses was in one, but the one that Moses had, he didn't have any driver. He was by himself in it. He was in a chariot all by himself. Okay. His chariot was, this is the way that the chariot of Moses was driving, wasn't. His chariot was inlaid with silver and gold, brothers. Can you imagine the sun beaming into a silver gold chariot? You know, inlaid, that means it's like it's covered, it's painted, you know, inlaid with silver and gold. The sides and back were open, and the base of floor of the car curved upward in front, serving as a safeguard to the charioteer when one was required. But it now supported his quiver of silver, which means the quiver is like the little pouch they put the arrows. Okay, in the Bible they refer to the women portal as the quiver, and the men third leg as the arrow. The Most High was talking, he said, he was talking to a specific spiritual whore that always get everybody in there. He said, why you let every man shoot an arrow in your quiver, you whore. You know, we know this one. And see, somebody remember that book. Well, they talk about that women let any man shoot arrow in her. Boy, that women was something, brothers. Horrible women. Yeah, horrible women. The Most High, like, you are massive. Oh, you never listen to me and stuff. Anyway, it's in the book of I believe in the book of Job. If anybody can put the scripture, so sometime I really don't like to go on that. So anyway, so quiver, which is another word for female portal, and arrows, which is another word for third leg. So just in case we made that future reference, so people will not like, oh, what the hell is he talking about? But anyway, but it is now supported his quiver of silver. So the quiver is made out of silver, and bow case of gilded leather, richly ornamented with figures of lions. The spear case, which was of bronze and fastened by chains of gold, pointed over his shoulder. Close to it was an additional quiver containing Parthian arrows, while a mace of iron and heavy sword, and reflected the sunlight, hung by tongues from the rings of the spear case. All the other chariots, which were constructed of wood and iron, handsomely painted, were similarly accoutred, though less elegant. So Moses' chariots was the best, the prettiest. And then it was like well made. He had swords in it. He had mace. Mace is like mace could be anything, but the mace they are talking about usually it's like a big stake with a giant bowl. It's like a stick with a bowling ball in the head, a bowling ball stick in the head, and that bowling ball is loaded with spike. They call that a mace. And if they hit you in the head, if you hit a rock with that bowling ball with spike in it, it will just split that rock because they were heavy. A blunt weapon mace, a mace, but the mace that we're talking about, those are the mace, like the typical mace that those bad guys carrying in those movies. Okay, where we were. Oh boy, yeah. So Moses' chariot was the pimp chariot. Okay, Moses was riding the pimp mobile. Moses stuff always pimping, except when they look at Moses, they're like, whoa, this guy's different. No sooner had the, give me a second. Okay. No sooner had the prince leaped upon his chariot, remind me when it's 10 o'clock. No sooner had the prince leaped upon his chariots that then the Ethiopian slaves who held his two fiery steeds sprung aside, released them in the ark when they bounded into the air and dashed forward over the plain. Ramesses, immovable as a statue, let them fly before him until he came in front of the drawn of phalanx of chariots. When a slight signal with his hand, the horses whose eyes are wholly free and shield of blinding stopped full. These proved to be his favorite chariot horses and had been trained to render perfect obedience. Moses walking to the chariot, and then he jumped, he leaped. Moses sprung. He was walking. It's just a little running, and then he jumped, boom, and then he landed on the chariot, boom. The moment he did this, he had two Ethiopian slaves, which mean employees back then, not comparing to the Hebrews. So the Ethiopian servant, both of them were holding a horse. Each of them were holding a horse. So Moses was coming to his chariots. This is a military thing. So Moses running, and he leaped from one place and then flew and landed on the chariot. And then they released the horses, and the horses dashes. And the horses were running toward Moses. The moment they get close to Moses, and then Moses waved his hand, and both of the horses leap on the back feet, and then they put their front feet, and then they stop right in front of Moses. And then Moses make the sign, and then they hook the horses, and they stop. Moses was showing off. You know how people, they put hydraulics in the car and all that. Moses he got pimping horses. And then the guy say, when he saw this, he knew for a fact those horses, they were trained horses. Those were two of Moses' favorite horses, which showed you that those horses that the Egyptians had, they weren't regular horses. They weren't like mildly domesticated horses. They were like war horses. They were training for war. They were aggressive horses. Okay? Moses did a little show, just running and then leap and land in the chariots. And then the moment he did this, they released the horses, and the horse was coming towards Moses. And Moses just tell them stop. And then he didn't even say anything, just raised his hand, and the horses stopped. And then they're like, yeah, and then they fell. And then Moses had them, hooked up to his chariots. And then they look at the crowd like, what's up? Where's my clapping, man? Clap your hand, man. Yeah, then everybody like, oh, hey, so that's Moses right there. So, that's what Moses did. Okay, so, whoops, let's go to the now commence a grand movement of the whole battalion. So now when Moses is on top, there's a comment of a grand movement. Okay. Now commence a grand movement of the whole battalion. While Ramesses stood in his chariots, the van of the 4,000 chariots, which constitute a host, moved forward. In a few moments, the whole body was in motion, dashing forward across the field. They swept around at its extremity in vast curves and came thundering on to pass the point where the queen sat. So you got like 4,000 chariots moving at one speed like a snake. 4,000 chariots moving. They made a semi-curve, and then they come right behind the queen as an escort. So the queen has like 4,000 chariot escorted her. And then they stand, and then they just they were coming from one side, and then they are galloping. The queen is right here, then they come galloping, and then they come behind her and stand there. There ain't no dust and anything because the floor was made all of like ceramic marble, beautiful. Nothing. It's so green and beautiful. There ain't no dust, sand, dust flying. It was like just. It was, brothers, it was like being in downtown DC when you saw this thing. Spectacle, beautiful. The ground shook with the roll of 8,000 wheels and the fall of thrice as many horses' hooves. It was magnificent sight as 100 abreast the column came on. So it was like an earthquake when you hear the horses are coming. And then the queen sit there, and Moses at the head of this. Moses didn't move, man. Moses is driving that chariot all by himself. Moses doesn't need any charioteer, any driver. Moses is just standing there, and the chariot, and then all the 4,000 coming. It's like a earthquake. Buffering? Am I buffering? Somebody said I want buffering. I don't want to. Is it? Am I all right, brothers? Give me a one. I'm good. All right. Okay, I'm good. Good. All right, let us move in. The head of it. Okay, that's the head of the head of the whole thing. The head of it, led by the chief captains, passed our position like a mighty river, the surface of which tossed with helmets, glittering spears, bows, plumed heads of steeds, and gorgeous housings and dazzling, bewildering spectacle full of sublimity and terrible power. Woo! Brothers, when Sesostris saw for the 4,000 men coming in a helmet made out of gold, the sun shining in the midst of them, people are cheering, flowers are flying, people are throwing flowers and stuff, and then all the generals feel like an earthquake, and everybody like, whoa, and they are coming, brothers. That's like some kind of like North Korean hish there. Better. Just like watching one of those North Korean parade. Multiple people walking and stuff, and they came in and stuff like that. So, presented and the splendor was terrible power. Egypt military had a terrible power, man. Okay, the splendor of the headdresses and tramping of the steeds, mingling with the shining cuirasses and steel weapons of the armed charioteers presented as seen, I shall never cease to remember. The dude said, I always will remember this moment. That was beautiful. In the center of the field of review stood Ramesses. His ego glanced, reviewing their movement. So Moses was like the supervisor. Moses was the manager. He's making sure that the movements are performing the right way. Moses standing there, they always got a one and stuff. Moses standing, make sure overseeing the army, make sure you scumbag are not messing up this performance. All right. Anybody that messed up, I will cut your third leg. Any one of you scumbag here, you will get an imputation. And make sure you scumbag do this right. Moses was over there, watching them, and then they were doing the whole thing. So Moses was the manager watching them. Glancing with you in that movement, which a few of his generals about him, each in his own chariots. When his grand and imposing army had compassed the square, they resumed their former position with a precision and order marvelous to witness. Brothers, the moment they in combat, the queen, everybody turn around at the same time. They back up the chariot at the same time. They all align at the same time in a perfect line, and they all do the feet, the hooves of the horses hit the ground at the same time. It was beautiful, man. The dude was like, what the hell? This is beautiful. Then followed evolutions by detachment of chariots. So now you start seeing like the formation start breaking. 200 chariots detach. They go to the north. 200 go to the south. 200 go to the west. The chariots start detaching beautifully. They start following, and then they start detaching and forming, making line. They start making some beautiful battle formation, but it's not battle formation. So because they weren't battling anything. So 500 of them divided into two equals body, 250 on right, 250 on the left, took position, one at each hand of the parade, and at a signal charged upon each other at a speed which at first so increased each moment. 200 chariot on the left, 200 chariot on the right, and then they were charging at speed. They were coming at each other like they were about to clash. They were coming where they were about to collide. And then they all passed by each other, forming like a straight line. 250 go straight, 200 another 50 go straight, and they're about to collide, and then they pass inches to each other without hurting each other. They pass, and the dude was saying that was watching the glittering gold and the sun shining. None of those guys are moved. The spectacle was beautiful. My heart leaped with excitement. The dude was like, whoa, hesh, I never seen this. That thing is better than doing cocaine back then. I looked to see a very battle, okay? I looked to see a very battle, and to behold horses and charioteers overturned in tumultuous confusion from the inevitable shock, but so well drilled were they that their two lines deploying as they drew nearer passed through each other in spaces measuring by the eyes of the charioteers so nicely that in a moment they were rattling away, each to occupy the other's vacant position. Dude was like, holy mother of my God, how do they do this? Who taught them battle formation, brothers? Who taught them battle formation? Who taught them all those things? Oh, people, the 12 ninja serpent. They taught them everything. Yeah, the dude like, this is better than my cocaine time. I don't know what they'll call cocaine in the future. That is better. Remember, excuse me, in the book of the Throne of David, they talk about opioids. Remember, Abbasid said, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. All right, we stop there. Remember, Abbasid said, let me see. Okay, let's stop there. Let's stop there. We'll begin here. Remember, Abbasid said he would rather be a simple soldier than a king. No amount of opiate can satisfy your your anxiety when you're a king. You remember I said this? So back then those people used to do a hell of a lot more drugs. Nothing new under the sun, man. Anyway, let's just finish this and then give some praise report. There was a general shout of applause from the tens of thousands of spectators at this brilliant maneuver. Other display of a battle charioting took place, during which was exhibited every evolution that war demands on the veritable field of conflict. So when that feat was performed, brothers, everybody started clapping and shouting. Ah! They were showing their military might. They were showing not to mess with Egypt. They were showing all those things. All right, brothers and sisters, it's 10 o'clock. We're going to take a brief pause, and then let me read. Some of you may go ahead and use the bathroom and stuff like that. We'll take a 5-minute pause right after I read this, and I'm going to. They were doing war games. They were. Let me read this. A sister sent this, brothers. This is very important. You need to hear this because the sister give praise to the Most High. All right, let me read this. This is from the beloved sister, Sid Joy. That was pretty sad what the sister went to. Dear brother Levi, a little over 2 months ago, I emailed you asking for the family would pray for me because I was in a situation where I was having difficulty getting to and from my job, which is an hour from home. When I get to work, I couldn't get home. And when I get home, I couldn't get back to work. At that time, I contacted you. I'd been left stranded at work, but I'm writing you today because I want to brag on the Most High. He taught me so much in the past 2 months. Those weeks were very difficult for me, with lots of obstacles occurring to discourage me, but the Most High spoke to me in many different ways and told me that everything that happened to me was for his purposes. So I should not get caught up in emotion when obstacles present themselves, but I should keep my focus on trusting him. This is very important. Some of us are very emotional. Some of us think everything is about them. If it's not, give me credit. If it's not about me and stuff, since the sister told you, hey, this is not about your emotion and stuff. This is about the Most High using you to prove his power. So that's what I did, and the result was the Most High made ways for me and told me every step that to access resources that he made available for me. Blessing. Now, I not only have transportation, the Most High gave me my dream car. I believe it makes the Most High very happy when his children come together and petition him on the behalf of our brothers and sisters. When we do, he hears, he cares, and he makes ways for us. All praise is glory and honor to the Most High. Our Father is the best. Thank you for holding me up in prayer, Brother Levi and family. I believe we will be together soon. Until then, peace to you all. That was from Sister Joy. See Joy. Brother, when the sister emailed me 2 months ago, brother, it was heavy on my soul, man. The sister has to sleep at work, brother. She could not find ride. She used to spend the weekend sleeping in the workplace because she lives so far. The sister could not drive. The sister cried unto the Most High her help. She cried unto the Most High. She called the nation, and we did cry. When the sister sent me this email, brother, I was moved, man. I was like, oh, Father, why? Why is it you let your children? This is your child, Father. Help her. This is your child. In my spirit, I was broken, man. I'm like, wow, man, because I was in a situation like this. It's not like people don't know, brothers. They do know you in that situation, and they choose not to help you. You had no help. You cry unto the Father. Imagine when you go to work, you work from Monday to Friday, you sleep at work for the whole week. On the weekend on Friday, you call one ride, take you home, you spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home. Monday, you take another ride, you sleep at work for a whole week until you can get a car. This is no joke, brothers. The sister cried unto the Most High. The nation came in. We helped the sister battle. Now the Most High not only gave her a car, Not to give her transportation, give her dream car. All praises to the Most High, man. The Most High is great, is grand. This is all of the Most High's work. We give him all praises and all credit here. All right, brothers and sisters, always, man, always. Our prayers works. That's what that is. All right. We'll take a break, brothers, 5 minutes, and I will be back. Just going to get some more water. All praises, brothers and sisters. Please give me a one if you can hear me. Give me a one if you can hear me, brothers and sisters. Is that been 5 minutes? Is it been 5 minutes yet? Yeah, it's been 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. Good, good. Welcome, 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 welcome back. All right. This book, it's called The Story of Mountains by Dr. Ferdinand C. Lane, author of The Mysterious Sea. This book, it has, I haven't even read it. It's all classified and stuff. Thank you for giving me that one. Okay. Dr. Ferdinand C. Lane. Dr. Lane is an enthusiastic explorer of the shores and depths of the world's ocean, and his book is packed with more wondrous things than were ever found on land. There are chapters on how the sea is begun, the moments of surrounding rivers and the sea, where life began, regions of darkness and strange light, formings the sea, Argonauts, ancient and modern, mutineers and piracy, the romances of charts, strange islands. So this book is still plastified. I haven't read it yet. This book was among the book referred in the book that we are reading now. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah. So it's called The Story of Mountains. It was relatively cheap on Amazon. I think I found it like for like $10. You know, if one of you are moved to get this book, you may let us know what's in there, because in those book they will tell things, and then they will match things that we are studying, and we'll know they are talking about our lands. All right. So, brothers, sisters, we are back. Let us keep on moving. Let us keep on moving, brethren. Let us keep on moving. Let me drink a little. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, should we keep on trucking? Yeah, it's like $7 on Amazon. Yeah, $10, $7, but there's a lot. Yeah, the testimonies, a lot of things happen, brothers. Certain of the testimonies some of the brothers gave us, the brothers gave praises to the Most High, and we keep it personal, because it's personal. Should we keep trucking, brothers? Should we keep on trucking? All right, let us move on. Let the nation speak. All right, brethren. Okay. Whew. Okay, let us keep on trucking. Let us keep on trucking, brothers. All right, now. Okay, so now we see the whole display and stuff like that. People are, brothers, you know the reason why they do this type of thing in front of other nation? They did this, brothers. They sent a message out there. Don't F with Egypt. They sent a message out there, brethren. Don't mess with Egypt army. Yeah, stunting. Because they got a lot of people from a lot of land. They tell them this is the might of Egypt. Don't be messing with us. That's the message the queen is sending out there. Let me see if I can. Give me a second. Okay. All right, there you go. This is better. Okay, they sent a message out there. Don't mess with Egypt. I'm not quite sure which light it is good, because there's a light that's kind of like, this light is like a blue one. I don't know which one, and we keep this one. They sent message out there. Anybody You try to come up upon Egypt, this is the type of thing that you're going to come upon. When North Korea displays army, which is, well, according to some sources, brothers, most of the army is fake. Most of the giant missile, they are like giant things they painted open. They're not real. They just, it's a puffed up thing. They're puffing off. Puffing off. It's a puffed up thing. Most of the thing, the soldiers, they are CGI. Well, when I say CGI, they like visual effects, and they doing things like that. They're not real. You know, anytime they do this, that mean they don't have the strength. But it's a puffed up thing. They're puffing off like, hey man, don't come upon us. All right, let's move it. This magnificent review occupied 3 hours. So it was 3 hours, brethren, when they were doing this. 3 hours. When it terminated by all the generals and chief captains and leaders of cohorts and legions simultaneously detached themselves for their several commands, and one after another galloping at full speed, first around the prince, saluting him, then wheeling and turning in front of the queen's pavilion, paying her military homage as they passed her, by placing the left hand upon their breast, lowering the point of the spear, and then raise it above their glittering helmets. So after 3 hours of this, brothers, and then after 3 hours of them, and then they stop the big generals, the big dogs, because the Egypt had armies, not one army, armies. So they got multiple generals at each head of the armies, and then they detached from each of their part, and then they're running full speed. And then they look at Moses and they saluted Moses. They saluted Moses, and then they saluted the queen, and then they raised the spear above their head. Okay, while they were, because they had two drivers. The driver was driving, and then they passed the Moses, and they put the left hand on the breast, and they give them a salute, which is our salute. They put them a salute, give them a salute, and then when they get to the queen, they give the queen a salute, and they raise the spear above the helmet, and then the queen acknowledged them with a bow of the head. Those were protocols. Those were things they used to do back then. Those were the head generals, and then they pass. The queen rose, smiled, and returned the salute by a graceful wave of her hand. So the queen stand up, and then she smiled, and then she waved her hand, and she bowed her head. And so, the usual crap people are doing. Oh, hey, good performance, guys, and stuff. I really didn't want to. The queen, like, okay, well, yeah, good stuff, but what about the reception? Let's go to the reception. That's why I'm here. You know why that queen liked to go to reception, and then the queen like, hey, good job, and stuff. This company of warriors, chief excel in richness of armor and apparel, and housing and headdresses of their steeds, and in the beauty of their war chariots. All that had gone before. Returning to the post, the trumpets of the whole army sounded, and this martial array of chariots and horsemen moved all together across the parade at a rapid trot, and defiled the 50 through a colossal pylon, soon disappear outside of the wall. On their way to their camp, their retiring trumpets could be still hearing dying away beyond the gates, as Ramesses rejoined us, alighting from his chariot after losing the rein of his steeds from about his body, to which he had bound them during one of part of the evolution, and which he took the lead of charge legion in his own chariot as ever without the charioteer. So now the spectacle is done, the exercise is done, and then the guys, the whole army is moving. They sounded the trumpet. Remember, back then, they don't say, all right, let's move. No, they got a trumpet. Every one of them have a specific sound. Each trumpet, one say retreat, one say forward, one say wait for the general, one say man down, and then they sound the one that say retreat. And then they sound it, and everybody, all the chariot is, and then they are coming back and go retreat to a place, and then he can hear the sounds get fading away from all of those guys, and then you see Moses coming with his chariots and stuff like that. So Moses is coming. All right. Okay. There you go. We got one, two, three more pages, then we're done. Now we're gonna get to the party, brothers. Everybody's coming to the party. Woo! Party time. We now retired into the palace. They went to the palace for the party. It being past noon, and we were conducted towards the receptions room. Boy, Big Levi should have been there. Another brother like receptions. The reception rooms of the royal banquet hall by the grand chamberlain. At the door, we were received by the chief butler, while the other officers of the royal house stood in a line, bending low as the queen and their guests passes in. So he came in into the palace and then stuff. They were aligned. You know, they were getting, it's a VIP club, okay? And then there's a line of people. When the queen was passing, everybody bowed down, and then the queen was passing by. And then there's a line that very important people just pass there, and then they get in the palace. So he was working, and when the queen was passing, they saw the queen, and everybody bowed, and then the queen passed, and he was with the queen. So he didn't have to wait in line. Moses and him, the queen, and all the big generals and the bodyguards, they just passed right through. Whoops. We consist, listen now, we consist beside her majesty, the prince and myself, and the ambassadors from Chaldea. Okay, the Chaldean were there. You know, for those of you, I have a weird imagination of how the Chaldean look like. Some of you know the Chaldean. So the Chaldean, what I'm talking about, you can put it in the comment. So some of the Chaldean were there. The king's messenger from the court of Kedar Lahomer 3. A bunch of big wigs were there. Big fat cats were there. In whose country 300 years ago and more ago, the famous battle of Sodom was fought. Okay? Yeah, the frog-like people, the fish-like people were there. The Chaldean, they were there again, you know. The king's messenger from the court of Kedar Lahomer 3, and whose country 300 years ago and more ago, the famous battle of Sodom. There was a battle fought in that king's country, okay? And Sodom was fought. The ambassador from the kingdom of Assyria was there. Okay, you know, Abbasis was the ambassador of Assyria, but that happened like 2,000 or 4,000 years. Wait, hang on. The end didn't happen 4,000 years. This happened 1,000 years before Abbasis. Okay, we are talking about 1,000 years before Abbasis. Okay, so the ambassador of Assyrian at that time was there. The young prince of Tarshish was there. The duke of Kilmed of Sheba, he was there. And the dukes of Javan and Tubal, Gag and Magag, Ezekiel 39, all those people that make that tumult and Psalm 83, all the nation that make the tumult in Psalm 83, they were here. They were here at that party. The Lord of Meshech and the prince of Midian. The Midianites are our cousins. Midian is the son of Abraham by Zethurah, wife and stuff like that. Jethro was a Midian. Those are our cousin. The prince of Midian, which is our cousin, they were there. Besides these, was the Ishmaelites is our cousins too, the so-called Arabs. But again, they detached themselves from the Most High. Anyway, besides these was the great and wise prince from the land of Uz. Who is this prince, brothers? Besides this was a great and wise prince from the land of Uz, near the country of Prince Abram, the Mesopotamian. Okay, so now they refer to Abraham as a Mesopotamian. Some passage they refer to him as a Syrian, and now he's a Mesopotamian, which tell you Abraham ruled over Mesopotamia. What they are called, Mesopotamia is the center of civilization and stuff. Yes, our people were ruling there. Abraham was a prince of Mesopotamia. Abraham taught them all the stuff. They perverted it. They bring their own God. Yeah, Job was in the land of Uz, but there was a great prince there that came in. That's like way before Job. That's like 1,000 years before Job. This story. Yeah, Abraham was a magnificent ruler. He taught all the civilization they are telling you. This civilization rose and stuff. Abraham lived like Abraham lived 100 and something years old, I believe. And Abraham ruled a bunch of country. He taught all of them about the Most High. They all know how to properly worship the Most High. They just choose not to. They properly, they do their own God. The prince of Mesopotamia, which means like if you're a prince of a country, therefore at some point you're going to become king. And then if you're a prince, you rule that country. So Abraham taught the civilized, the Mesopotamian, okay? Besides, there was a great and wise prince from this is page 64, the land of Uz, near the country of Prince Abraham, the Mesopotamian. He was accompanied by two friends, philosophers and men of note, Zophar of Nahamath and Lord of Eliphaz of Teman. This Lord of Uz came into Egypt with a great retinue and train of servants, for he is a man of vast possessions. So this Lord of Uz was a rich ass mofo. Okay, Abraham was 175 years old. You know what you can do in 175 years old? He will put practically the entire earth. So this Lord of Uz came to Egypt with a vast retinue. He come with a bunch of people, and he come with philosophers, a bunch of slaves, and he is a man of possession. Who was this man? Who was this Lord of Uz? This man has a great possession. Who was that man? Anybody? Is it in Lamentation 4:22? I believe this great man of Uz. He could be one of the Edomites. It could be one of them because I believe in Lamentation 21 and 22. Let me check Lamentation 21 right quick to double check because I really don't study those things. I just say them. If anybody can go ahead and do their own research, and they will send me an email, and then they will say, "Hey, we found it." Lamentation 4, verse 21. I got it right here. Lamentation 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup shall also pass unto thee. Thus thou shalt make me drunken, and shall make thyself naked. Okay, so rejoice, the daughter of Edom. There you go. There we go. Just paste it over there. Okay, so this chief fellow, okay. Thank you, brother Phil. Okay, the land of Uz. So this lord of this land of Uz, most likely he be a Edomite. Most likely he's one of the lord of Edomite in that time. I don't know who he was, but he was one of the Edomites. And you know why I suspected that he has a lot of money? Because when Isaac died, Jacob and Esau, they split the possession. Jacob tell Esau, long story short, when Isaac died, Esau came in to bury Jacob. So when Isaac died, Jacob and Esau came in to bury Isaac. Now, when they came in, Isaac said, "Man, I don't want anything to do with anything." So there's two things here going on. Would you like the land that was promised to Abraham for all his children to inherit it forever? Since you're the son of Isaac, I am the son of Isaac. Do you want the whole land, the whole earth, the whole land where the Canaanites stay at, or do you want the money? So Esau tell Jacob, "Well, give me a little moment so I can think." And then Jacob said, "Well, you got 3 days or 2 days." So Esaú, he went to one of the Ishmaelite king, and then he asked one of the Ishmaelite nobles or something like that. He said, "Listen, man, I'm encountering something here. My brother Jacob, this guy, he's very smart. He always outsmarted me. My father died. He left a lot of money. He's the richest man on earth. He left all those money. plus the land. And then the Israelite said, which land? He said, the land of the Canaanites. He said, do you possess, did he possesses? No, it's like a promise. And he asked me, which one should I take? Should I take the land or should I take the money? So the Israelites say, wait a minute. This guy, Jacob, and the Israelite mocked Jacob. He said, this guy, Jacob, think you are stupid. Isaac died with all that money. He left that money, and then he left a land that is not even his, where the Canaanites, the giants, the 50-foot tall men, those big ass giants, because Nimrod was still alive. He said, this is the land. Do you know who Nimrod is? Man, those Canaanites are living in this land securely. They got armies and stuff, and he is calling the land. He's trying to trick you. Take the money instead. So Esau say, aha, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, let me drink a wine for my own God. I don't worship that God over there. Yeah, Esau was like, yeah, that is true. So Esau went to Jacob. He said, Jacob, I'll take the money. Jacob said, my friend Esau, my brother Esau, do you want the... He said, I'll take the money, Negro. The money was a lot, brother. The money was a lot. So Esau, take all the money. He take all of it, brother. He didn't give Jacob not a penny. He took all the money, all of it. Every single penny. He took everything. When I say money, brother, he take the pieces of gold and everything that made out of gold and silver. Everything that are valuable, he took all of it. And Jacob made him sign and swear. He just signed and swear. And Jacob say, I'll take the land. And Jacob take the land. He didn't even have land. That's why Jacob was so poor. That's why Jacob had to go work for Laban, I believe. Jacob has to slave himself away to make money. He didn't give Jacob not a penny. He took everything. That's why the so-called Edomite back then, they were so rich. There you go. That's why you come the Lord of the land of Uz. He was an Edomite that has all the money. He was a man of great possession because Esau took all that money and take it. And then generation and generation, this money spent. This money spent. That's why they believe Job was an Edomite. No, Job was in the land of Uz. The people in the land of Uz were known as Edomite, but Job wasn't an Edomite. He was like an Edomite citizen, but he wasn't. That's why the Messiah said, Job is my servant. Look at him. Job wasn't a true Edomite. He was just stuff like that. So Esau took all the money and Jacob took the land. So that's now we know this great man of possession, most likely to be an Edomite. All right, brothers, let us move in. Wisdom, power. He's okay. Whoa, where was I? And whoa. Let me drink a little. Job was not a Shemite. Job probably was an Israelite, most likely an Israelite, but they refer to him as an Edomite because of the place that he used to stay. Okay, this Lord of Uz came into Egypt with great retinue and train of servants, for he is a man of vast possessions. He had heard of the wisdom and power of Amensi and had come with his own merchant to visit her court. Listen to this. He is also an eminently wise man, a worshiper of one deity, as was the ancient king of Abraham. He is also an eminently wise man, a worshiper of that one deity, YAHAWAH, or the great one, as was the ancient king Abraham. So Abraham taught, like we said, brothers, we rule everything, brothers. We rule everything. Abraham taught everybody how to worship the Most High, but they choose, brother, not to do that. He is of venerable and majestic aspect. He is learning all the wisdom of Chaldea and Arabia and seeks to add thereto to the law of Egypt. Besides this distinguished prince, there are other philosophers of note and name, and such noble company, dear mother, was in my fortunate to lot to fall, truly to come into Egypt to see the whole world. So there was a lot of people there. See, excuse me. There were a lot of people there, brothers. The queen, after entering the empty room, retired to the right, where her ladies in waiting received her and escorted her to her own apartments to prepare for the banquet, which had been delayed by the review. So now the queen, again, brothers, it was another protocol, another things that the nobles did back then. So the queen came in, all her servants, all her women, maidens, and all the handmaidens came in, and then they took her to a room, and then take the they were preparing her. She had like a queen, brother. A noble can't go to a wedding, can't go to a military formation, a military festival with some clothes, and then came back, go to the reception with the same clothes. They don't do that. So the queen had to shower, exchange, put another massively ornament and all that crap gold that women used to wear back then. So they had to redress her for the banquet now. So they are dressing the queen. Okay. Ramesses leading the way with me by his side, we came to the outer room where handsomely dressed pages offer us scent water and ewers of gold to lave our fingers, remove our sandals, and in the foot pans of gold wash our feet, beginning with Ramesses. So what's happening here? They're about to eat. They're about to get to the reception. They're about to do things, and then they came in, and then there were pages like little servants standing there with a pot of gold and with water, scented water. They wash their hand and they wash their feet. Now, back then, thousands of years ago, it was custom for people to wash their feet when they want to get into the somebody's house. It's one of the thing that YAHAWAH did. The first thing that he did, he lowered himself onto us. He washed our feet first. And he's now looking for a servant that will wash his feet. That's what it says in the Christmas message. You know, you have to get the heart of a servant. And then back then, brothers, anybody remember the story of Ruth? How Ruth got Boaz? Anybody remember that? Anybody remember what Naomi tell Ruth to do? What did Naomi tell Ruth to do, brothers and sisters? For those of you who read the book of Ruth, what did Naomi tell Ruth? Ruth was innocent. Really? I have no taker. Oh, okay. All right then. Thank you, Sister Connie Cooks. Yeah, Naomi said, wait, wait until Boaz go to sleep and then, go in there and uncover his feet. Uncover Boaz's feet. Take that feet. Well, that's it. Do what you must do with these feet. 9 months later, Ruth belly is bigger than Big Levi belly. Yep, brothers, that's what it was. Back then, women do that a lot. People think those things happen so much, brothers. When women offer you drink, back then men did not. They let another man drink it first, and then they wait a little moment, and then see nothing happen to this one, they will drink it. Back then, brothers, that's how we talk about legs and feet. Naomi, because Ruth didn't know what to do. Ruth okay, I don't know what to do and stuff. Naomi said, don't worry, give him drink. When he's gone, put some mandrakes in this drink, aka Viagra. Yeah, right. And then uncover his feet. And then you dance around that feet a little bit more. Don't worry, it won't last long. And then after that, and then you're good. You know? And brothers, listen, hey, when I say this, I know some of you people over there gonna mail me like, but brother Big Levi, what about when YAHAWAH was in the town and then a professional baker came in and washed YAHAWAH feet right in front of everyone? That's not what that means. No, that means that women really truly wash YAHAWAH feet, but not that feet. All right, brothers and sisters, let us moving because we really don't have that much time. So yeah, the pins of gold, our feet begin with Ramses. They then dry them with perfume napkins of the stuff that's lining fringes. With threads of gold and place upon them sandals of crimson cloth embroidered with flowers. So, brothers, it's look when they will finish washing their hands and feet, literal. I'm speaking literal. Yeah, you know how people, brothers. You know how people, man. Big Levi said this, but what about brother Levi? Are you saying when that women took YAHAWAH feet right in front of everyone, wash it with her tears, and wipe it with her hair, and then the other guys got shocked. They're like, whoa, does YAHAWAH know who this woman is? She does this with everybody. So do you mean that's what it was? No, that's not what I mean. That is. You scumbag. I know you people are gonna go ahead and say, Big Levi say YAHAWAH did do some stuff right in front of everybody. Zaza! No, I did not. Please do not send me email. Do not make your little silly videos accusing me of saying YAHAWAH did big with this woman. No, he did not. Now, brothers, let us move on. All right, we don't have that much time. So they were washing their hands with flowers, scented perfume, and all that stuff and things. Our upper garments were removed by a Nubian servant. So they have Nubian servants. So listen, brothers, okay? All right, listen to this. Pay attention, brothers, okay? Our upper garments were removed by Nubian servants and replaced by banquet vesture. So they removed their military stuff and then they give them, reception things and stuff like that. More or less, rich according to our rank. Thus refreshed, we enter a beautiful reception room containing the most elegant articles of future. Here, every one of us was presented by the chief gardener of the palace with the lotus flower, so the hell at the hand doing the entertainment. As we move about, admiring the beauty of the room and the furniture and such objects of luxury and art were intended, to gratify the taste of guests, there were several arrivals of generals, an office of the chariots legion, and other division of the army of Lower Egypt who had been summoned to the banquet. So now, brothers, because they were there, brothers, they were eating, they were about to eat, and then they changed their garments into something else. They washed their hands and they washed their literal physical feet that we have. They washed that, and then they washed everything, and then they came in and they sit down. But while they were coming in, brothers and sisters, he saw the other big dogs are coming, the generals and stuff. The big dogs are coming in and stuff like that. All the princes, they came in, brothers, to party. Okay? Now, brothers, sisters, Jews, and Gentiles alike, tell me who's writing this, because we don't want to shock the little ones. Tell me who's writing this and to whom he's writing it, brothers. Let me just take a little bit of a drink. Tell me who's the author, who's writing this letter and to whom. For those of you that know, let me enjoy this water right there. I mean, like I said, man, whoever said water have no energy can go. Yeah. That person can eat a very hot chocolate emoji cake. The prince to the queen. Now, what is the relation of this prince to this queen? Thank you, Sister Lauren. Sesostris to his mother. This is Prince Sesostris, brothers, writing a letter to his mother. Understand the situation that we're facing here, brothers. This is a mother and son. If your mother is the queen, you are the son, there are certain things you will not put in this letter. It happened. It happened. There are freaking Gentiles partying. Oh, you know that thing happened. There are Gentiles, partying. Or B, or C, or E, or G. If you catch my drift, it did happen, but because I'm writing to my own mother here, man. There are certain things I have to leave them out. This is a party. All I'm gonna say, brothers, we eat. We eat. We just eat and then we drink. That's all. Mom, that's all you need to know. Your son loved you, and then that's what happened. The party went well. All right. Remember when Abbasis was writing to King Belus, when he was writing to King Belus, he said he spent 3 hours. Brothers, this man is a master pen. He said he spent 3 hours with Adoa walking under the moon. He said, Belus, there are things I cannot tell you here because gentlemen never tell. Again, hey man, this man was about to buy this cookie. Hey, I gotta sample this thing first. And Adoa was more. And like, hey, go ahead. Things like that. But brothers, let us keep this professional. This is a son writing to his mom. He went to a party and then nothing happened. Yeah. Zaza. All right. Brother, this is the party. Now, you got to read between the lines, brothers. Nothing happened. Nothing happened here, but let's reading the lines. Where were we? Among these, like when everybody came in over there, he said, among these, I recognize some of the superb uniform officers who had lining the avenues of the grand approach to the throne. For you will recollect that I see it was an army of officers, soldiers of this rank alone being permitted to the honors of the palace of the reception of princes and foreign ambassadors. This is another clue. Mother, there is this room right there. Everybody's here. And there's a special room. Only the princes, only the ambassadors, only the high ranks were there. It's called a VIP room, a very important people room. That's where I was. Again, it was a party. People are enjoying themselves, so to speak. There were also nobles and distinguished citizens, Egyptian gentlemen of worth and condition, that entitled them to the honor of dining at the palace. From a window, I witnessed the arrival of these. They came in elegant pleasure chariots, attended by a number of servants. One of these footmen came forward to announce to the chief porter his master's name. Others took the reins, for the Egyptian lord prefers to drive himself in the streets. Another who held above his head, standing behind him, a large parasol of gorgeous plume, alike carried his steel ball. So now you got this high tough fat cats and then big wig coming in. They came to the VIP. They want to party. Several aged persons arrive in palanquins exquisitely carved and painted and borne by slaves. 2 of 3 arrived on foot and attending, holding a shield of large fan above them. Water was brought also for their feet, but not in golden foot. Not in golden foot bowls, and robes and sandals were distributed according to the rank. So everybody, according to the rank, came in, and then the party gets started. Now the party started. At least for these polite Egyptians, all well is ourselves regarded as a want of good breeding. At least for these polite Egyptians, as well as ourselves, regarding it as a want for a good breeding, to sit down to the table immediately on arriving. The music, which had been played all the while the guests were arriving, ceased, and the chief butler announced the moment of the banquet. So music was there, brothers. Now, listen, he made a very specific description, brothers. He made a very specific description. Remember in the first part, when he came in, he could hear the music, but he could not see who was playing the music. Now, he made a very description. There were music, there were people were eating and stuff in there. And then somebody came in and announced the banquet, the food is here. At the same instant, the queen entered the apartment, and after receiving the salutation of us all, was escorted by Ramesses to the banquet hall. As we entered, the company of musicians stationed near the door. You hear that? As we entered, a company of musicians stationed near the door. That means he saw them. This time he saw the musician station staying by the door. When that queen entered, they start playing and stuff. Music and things like that, they start playing, okay? Struck one of the favorites here in the country, playing upon tambourines, cymbals, double pipes, flute, which rested on the floor, guitars, lyres, and instruments unknown to me. That means he saw all those people that was playing instruments, all kind of thing. The party's going, the music is here, and all that things. You know, people were partying. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, brothers. And then, excuse me. Oh boy. Give me a second. I'm trying to. I'm trying to answer some of the. I'm trying to answer. give me a. Give me 1 minute. All right, I got it. All right then. Music and as we enter, so he saw the company. They were playing all sort of music. There we go. The music was full of harmony, brothers. And to my ear, novel from the number of strange instruments discontinued until we had been seated according to the rank, my place being to the left of the queen. So he sit to the left of the queen, and Ramesses sitting at her right. There were 4 ladies of rank also near the queen, along the table, which I may mention was polished silver. When we have taken our places, the loud music ceased, and 7 minstrels. Anybody can anybody define this and minstrels? Let's see, minstrels. I'm not quite sure what this word means. Minstrel? Yeah. 7's minstrel. Beat was playing. Yeah. Shake that booty, girl. Shake that booty, girl. That was the music they were playing over there. Minstrels. Musicians? Is that what that is? 7 minstrels. Brother, we have to know what they are saying here. Minstrels. Okay, is that what that is? Entertainers. Thank you, Ceylon. Entertainers. minstrels. There were 7 minstrels came in here, and they were doing the musician. Musician, medieval singers, entertainers. Okay, there were 7 minstrel. When we take our 7 minstrels, musicians, who stood by as many harps behind the queen, coming playing a beautiful air accompanied by their voice. So this is pretty weird. You mention in the first, there were a bunch of musicians there. You say the word musician, and now you say there were 7 minstrels. Okay, other musicians, singers came in, and they start playing the harp and stuff like that. The melody was full of richness and sweetness. While this was performing, servants approached and from exquisite porcelain vases poured sweet-scented ointment upon our heads. So while the music was playing, brothers and sisters, they were pouring sweet oil ointments in their hairs. It's a custom. A party, they're pouring oil on their head, not anywhere else, but it's an oily head. It's a scented oil they put in people's head. That's what it was. They just put the oil in your head and stuff. It's like an anointing thing the Egyptians used to do. Okay. Sweet scented oil upon our heads. Okay. Then enter from the gardens into which the banquet room opened on 2 sides, as many beautiful maidens bearing necklaces of fresh flowers, which they had just gathered and cast them over our shoulders. Like Hawaii. Then entered from the gardens into which the banquet room opened on 2 sides, as many beautiful maidens. Describe that word, maidens. What is a maidens? Beautiful maidens, bearing necklaces of fresh flowers, which they had just gathered and cast them over our shoulders. Okay? Maidens, they were putting flower on their necks. Like they do in Hawaii. Okay? That's like something they do. Music is playing, people are that's in a separate room, though. Okay, that's in a separate, very important people. Yeah, more swagger jacking. Youthful women, young women. A bunch of young women came in, and then they're casting flowers on people's neck, like Hawaii people do when you get off the plane. Yes, thank you. And more swagger jacking. They were putting flower on their necks and stuff like that. Cast them over our shoulders. Having received this token of welcome, a train of servants presenting us wine and 1-handled goblets, like a mug. They present them wine. They give them wine in a giant mug. That of Ramesses and mine own was a gold and jewelry. So a pip cup, a giant pip cup. Okay, giant pip cup. All right. A maiden, a young woman, usually not married. All right. Let me see. Oh boy, where we were. They give Moses a pimp cup. They give him a pimp cup. They loaded them with wine. Music is playing. The others were a silver of agate or agate. Okay, like a beer mug. All right. Let me see where we were. And agate. The queen's was presented to her in a single crystal, and that of the ladies in small. So the queen, they give the men, they give them giant pip cup, glowing and then stuff like that. But the queen, they give the queen a very small crystal. Come on, brother, a cup made out of crystal, like a glass, a very little small glass champagne. Okay. All right, they give the queen a smaller glass, but Moses and Ramesses got giant pip cup. Okay, so that one of Ramesses of mine made out of gold, the others were silver. The queen's was presented to her in a single crystal, and that one of the ladies in small, delicate vases of some precious metal. Okay, the women drinks were a lot smaller, a little short glass and stuff. Okay, the health of the queen and the prince and the others present was drunk, while music regaled our senses. Define the word regaled. REGALED, regaled, or regal. REGAL, regal. Define the word regal. So the queen has a little cup, and Moses and then Moses and Ramesses and Sesostris has those giant big beer loaded with wine, and they were drinking music in there, dancing, and they got like young maidens putting flour on their neck, oil in their head. That's a party. What's going on? Let me see. Regal, of relating or sustaining for a king, notable excellence or magnificent splendid. So the music was a music of king. This is what it says. The health of the queen and of the prince and others present was drunk, while music regaled our senses. While music regaled our senses. The music was good. The wine was good. Everybody's drunk. We hear dancing and stuff. Ramesses, who act as ruler of the feast. So Moses was the head of the party. Pledge me to drink thy health, my dear mother. So Moses was like, yo, man, drink to get off top, drink to get drunk. Music is that beautiful. My dear mother, listen. Ramesses, who act as a ruler of the feast, pledged me to drink thy health, my dear mother, which was responded to by all the company, the prince of Uz, remarking that the fame of your virtues and the wisdom of your reign had reached his country. You may judge how my heart swelled with pride and joy as this testimony to your excellencies, oh my noble and royal mother, from so dignified a source in the presence of such a company of witnesses. So they were drinking and drinking. Those guys were drunk and they were talking crap. And one of the guy, the prince of Uz, said, yo, man, and I remember regale, to give pleasure or amusement to regale our senses. The music was give them pleasure to their senses, and we know they got many senses, so they were happy drinking. And then one of the prince of Uz say something about the Phoenician queen, which was a pleasant thing. The son, the prince feels so pride and like, yes, man, this is good. I'm happy here, man. I love this place, man. Let me drink with you people. And they were drinking until the dinner was served up. Various songs and performances were introduced. At the close of the banquet, there were the wonderful dances of Arabian girls, okay, exhibition of buffooneries, games and feat of agility by jugglers. Oh, brothers, that was a party here, man. They got buffoon over there doing buffooneries. Can you imagine all those coons that, brothers, that's how those Gentiles do their stuff, man. Okay, until the dinner was served up, various songs and performances were introduced, and at the close of the banquet, there was the wonderful dances of Arabian girls. Okay, Arabian girls, not Arabian women. Arabian girls came in and danced and stuff like that, and then exhibition of buffoonery. Anybody can define the word buffoonery? Exhibition of a buffoonery. That's how those people party. You have to understand this. This is a son writing something to the mother. If you read it, say, my dear mother. He's being very polite. My dear mother. Beloved mother. Yeah. Oh, Arabian girls. Yeah. Yeah. Foolishness. Brothers, exhibition of buffoonery. Listen, brothers. Belly dancers. Today we got another name for them. I have the beloved brother IL Tim, call them some pole dancers. So yeah. So those Arabian dancers, foolishness. Brothers, what is, let's define the exhibition. Define the word exhibition. Define the word exhibitions. Exhibition. foolish or playful behavior or practice. Exhibition, something foolish. There were dancers there. That's what it was back then, brothers. Exhibition of buffooneries. So somebody come over there and do something stupid, something buffoonery, something foolish. What could possibly that mean? Somebody go over there and then do some foolish thing, some joke, dancing party, buffoonery. Exhibition, the word exhibition. Exhibition, a public display of works of art, items, and interests held in a gallery of museum and stuff. A public display of something foolish. Exhibitions of buffoonery, games, they were playing games, and feats of agility by jugglers. They had jugglers here juggling things and, stuff. It was, the party was all over. Beautiful, brothers. A beautiful party. I regret to say that some of the guests retired overcome with wine. I regret, again, brothers, he's writing to his mom. He has to make it as polite as possible. I regret to say that some of the guests retired overcome with wine. They pass out drunk. Drunk, brother. They pass out drunk. And to be borne on the shoulders of their servant to their homes. Their servants have to carry the mofos. They were drunk, throwing up. Brother, the party was a mess. They had to carry them. They were drunk out of their freaking mind. And their servants have to carry them on their shoulders and bring them home. While two of the ladies were freer with their little crystal gobblers than was seeming for their sex. While two of the ladies were freer. Two women seems they were a lot more freer with their little crystal goblets than was seeming for the sex. So there was two women there. They get out. Those two women, they stopped drinking from their little small cup. Those two women, thank you. Exhibitionist is one that exposes their own nakedness to the public eyes. Come on, people, man. I didn't have to read this. Come on. You know what's going on here. So there were two women. They had their women cups and stuff. They threw away freer, not under the control of the power of another. They were freer, so their little shot of glass, they threw it away. Now they grabbed, those men, giant pimp cup. They were not taking shot, and they were like shoveling, those giant cup and drinking. Two of those women, whoa, they went hish head, buck head, dancing, drinking. That prince never seen things like that. Loose today. The word free means loose today. Two loose women. They're free, okay? Okay, he's brothers, he put it very politely, brothers. Put it very politely. While two of the ladies were freer with their little crystal goblets than was seeming for their sex. That's what the little cup they give it to women, because women cannot handle as much alcohol than men. They underestimated those two ladies at that party. They underestimated those two women. Those women, those two, let's see, while two of the women were freer with their little crystal goblets than was seeming for their sex. Okay, so they were drinking a hell of a lot more. The queen scarcely touched the wine to her lips, while Ramesses preserved the severest temperance. So the queen stopped drinking. The queen scarce. Define that word scarce or scarce. What was that? Scarce. Scarce. Define that word. Scarce. The queen stopped drinking. Is that what that means? We want to be right here. Scarce. Deficient in quantity or number compared to with number. So the queen start drinking less. When you're at a party, brothers, when you drink more, something pleases you. When you drink less, that means there are certain things that you're seeing. You don't want to get too drunk and get involved in that, so you drink less. But see, the queen really didn't want to get drunk and then get into a fight, and then she didn't want to get drunk a lot. And you're women, you go to a party, you act like those two women drinking a bunch. You ended up killing somebody. So the queen, she didn't drink that much. Okay, the queen's scarce touched the wine to her lips, while Ramesses preserved the severest temperance. While Moses was like drinking a freaking bucket, Moses was lift up a freaking bowl of wine, gargling that. But Moses reserved the severe tempers. Moses could drink. Moses was a Moses was a drinker. So Moses was drinking. After the banquet, Ramesses accompanied me to an apartment in the palace, which he said were the future of my abode. Here, taking leave of him, I commence this letter, which I now close, assuring you of my filial love and reverence, your son, Sesostris. All praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. Give the Most High all praises, brothers, for giving us this knowledge, okay? All praises to the Most High, okay? Moses was a drinker. Moses was drinking all of the he never got drunk. He actually drove Sesostris to his house, okay? So, yeah. All praises, brothers, to the Most High. Thank you, Father, for enlightening us. We had fun. We studied, brothers, and tomorrow we may be able to study another letter, okay? So now you understand, brothers, the military might of Egypt, okay? All those things that happen. Give the Most High all praises, okay? He gave us this knowledge back. Oh boy, it's already 11:11. Okay, all praises. Give me a second. Okay, well, I'll have time. Wait, will I have time? I will have time. So, yeah. So, Moses, Egypt, brothers, Egypt displayed their military might. The military might of Egypt, the chariots of Egypt were no joke. Thank you, Sister Vaya. Tomorrow is the fasting day. For those of you who wish to fast with us from sun up to sundown. And you understand, brothers. Again, like I said, brothers, it from what it says in this book, it was a party. That's all it was. But understand this: there's those people were Gentiles, they were heathens, and this man was writing a letter to his mother. Okay, mom, there are certain things that you need not to know at a party. When you go at a party like this, people are drinking and stuff, things happen, brothers. We know what happened, and we really don't want to go into this, but it did happen. But since it was a son writing to his mother, he was politely telling them what happened. But we see how the when the Mosai took an army down for the Mosai brothers to take an army like Egypt down, that you need a very powerful might to do that. Okay. Please click the like button for the others to join this to get this what they call this thing again. If you haven't, please click the like button. Okay. Tomorrow we will read tomorrow. Let me see what Psalm we will read tomorrow. We will read Psalm 51. Tomorrow we will read Psalm 51, and also we will read Psalm 120. We will read Psalm 51 and 120. Brothers, it is come to my attention now. We may have to add Psalm 94 to one of our days. We will choose a day. The Most High will tell us a day to say Psalm 94, because what happened is they shut down, they suspended my channel for a week because of Psalm 94. Okay. Sister Michael, brother Michael Shannon, Big Levi brother, do you do 8:30 every night? Brothers, we used to do this every night, 7 for 6 months. Then the Most High pull us down. It depends, beloved brother. If you are new to these channels, I will suggest you to subscribe to this. But I have a main channel. You could subscribe. Just be on the lookout. Tomorrow we might be able to be there at 8:30. Sometime we read, sometime we get together with the brothers and sisters. Okay. Um. So yes, brethren, we learned a lot today, and I don't know about you, but I learned a bunch of things that I didn't know. Okay, so tomorrow, if the Most High allow us, brothers, we will gather at the same time. We will study again because I don't know what's in letter 6. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, beloved brother Michael Shannon. It is prophecy. You fulfill prophecy by being here with the brothers and the sisters. We have both channels. Sometimes we study, sometimes we do little silly stuff. We just do things to please the Father. We just tell jokes between ourselves. We laugh in righteousness. We do certain things, brothers, in righteousness. Okay. What we do here, we don't do anything wicked, but we do everything in righteousness. Yes, brother. Psalm 94. What Somebody hit me on Cash App. Thank you. Psalm 94, we will find a way, beloved brothers and sisters, to do something with it. I don't know when we're going, because Psalm 94 call upon the Most High to show up himself. Okay, Psalm 94 is very powerful. I did not realize that, but until they shut down my channel for Psalm 94, so we have to say Psalm 94. I don't know which day yet, but the Most High will let us know. We may have to say Psalm 94 uh every first of the month. We may have to say the prayer of Manasseh and Psalm 94 every first of the month, so the Most High will show himself, but I haven't get any confirmation to do that. Or we can say Psalm 94 every time something good happen. All right. Thank you, brother Phil. Everything that you do is not for us, brothers, for the glory of the Most High. Okay. We will probably will do Psalm 94 every first of the month and things. I haven't I don't want to be a burden to the nation, brothers. The Most High tell me to put you at peace. I don't want to be the scumbag that keep giving you stuff to do. We want to read, laugh, eat, do a little challenge here, a little challenge there. I don't want to be that guy. Okay. So we are here, brothers. Again, the 9th coming up right here, the 9th. They will put my channel will be back online. So if you don't see me on the backup channel, I will be on the main channels. The main channel is just Big Levi. Big Levi channel, Big Levi backup channel is the backup channel, the one that you're in now. And Big Levi is the main channels. Okay, this one I can't do video on it because they will. I don't want it to be tainted. So that's why the Most High had me at 2 channels. When they took the other one down, he knew exactly what's going to happen in the future. That's why I don't question him, and I know why he took that channel down. He let them took the channel down as a testimony. So now we know Psalm 94 is very powerful. So we're going to say this. So to answer the beloved sister, tomorrow we will say Psalm. Let me make sure I give the right answer here because I got everything planned. We got everything planned until April the 12th. When April the 12th came in, we'll be done with the whole book of Psalm. So tomorrow is the 7th, the 8th. Tomorrow is the 8th. We'll begin at Psalm 120 to 126. And then we will say Psalm 51. Okay, Psalm 120 to 126 and Psalm 51. By April the 12th or April the 15th, we should be able to be done with the book of Psalm. Then I don't know which book of prayers the Most I will put in the midst of us, in my mind and your heart, so we can and stuff. Yes, thank you, brother Phil. You can go to One Nation, One Power websites and got all the information that we need, all the books that you need. Go to the forums. We discuss everything over there. Brothers, listen, this is how it works. Here a little, there a little. You get a little from me, Big Levi. You get a little from Big Judah, a little from Ayal, a little from the beloved brother Abdullah Seer, a little from the beloved sister Lisa Cabrera, a little from everybody. You go to all the channels, brothers. Even the camp. Even the camp. You go to the camp. They probably have some information we don't know about. You know, you check what the camps are doing. Oh, what are you guys all doing? Okay, I ain't got. This is all bones. You left it. If they got meat, you take the meat. Okay. We want you to go everywhere. You are a seeker of knowledge, which means you're a seeker of the Most High face. The Most High face is not here only. I do not have 100% of the truth. I have probably less than one, not even 1%. I have a very small, the smallest amount of the truth. I have it. The Most I put it in my heart, and I share it with you. Everybody got, a little bit or something. Please, if you go to for instance, if you got new, if we have new people here, you go to the beloved brother Big Judah channel first. Bring him peace. Tell him you hear in the name of the Most High, and you bring the brother peace. Okay, you don't have to give credit. Oh, our Big Levi sent me here and all that nonsense. No, tell the brother peace be with you. All praise with the Most High. We're here to exalt the name of the Most High. Let's exalt his name. Okay, let's exalt his name. You go to the beloved brother LDIA, which a lot of people that goes over there, they can't find the channel. When they type it, they can find it because the algorithm that that was in there, they changed it to Ayal ben Ephraim to Ben Ephraim. So I think he corrected it. When you go there, brothers, don't argue. You may not argue with, you may not agree with the beloved brother Ayal. Don't argue with him. Don't tell him, oh, you want to die. Oh, I'm going to unsubscribe and stuff. If you don't like what the brother's saying, you peacefully and kindly leave the brother in peace, and then you leave. You go to the beloved brother Big Judah. You don't like what he's saying. You peacefully leave. You don't even have to tell him. You pray on that. You say, if the Holy Spirit move you, this message is not for you. Don't bring the brother pain. Bring him peace. Bring the sisters peace. All the brothers say, peace be with you, brothers. I am here to exalt the name of the Father. Let's give glory to the Father. It's not about your emotion. It's not about me. It's not about our credit to this and that, brothers. It's all about the Most High. I get my news from the beloved sister Cabrera, okay, because she telling you the truth. When I thought I was alone, when I saw the sister channels and I saw all the people that were saying the same thing that I was thinking, I'm like, this is the confirmation. This is the prophecy that said the Most High will lift up the skirt of Esau. That was the sister that did this when she dragged out the whole thing about the opioid. That thing had to shake the whole world. Yeah. So if you go to the sister, bring the sister peace and tell the sister you're here to exalt the name of the Most High and you are listening to his servants. Whatever news the sister said, you keep it, you take it. You don't go over there and so if the sister says something you don't like and then you start arguing with him. No, don't do this, brothers. Don't do this, sisters. Yeah. All right, do this, brothers. Follow everybody. Even other channels that I agree with them. I follow them because the Most High also anointed them. Did you know the Most High also anointed Saul? David could not kill Saul. David could not. He found many opportunities to kill Saul. He could not. If anybody come upon me, brothers, listen. Anybody make any video about me, Big Judah, Elder, any of the brothers saying crap. The moment you see this video, if it disturb your peace, you thumb down this video, and then there's a little button, and then you create don't recommend channel or not interested. Tell YouTube you're not interested in this. Don't recommend the channels. Don't even comment to it and say, oh, and stuff. Don't let anybody disturb your peace. You in a spiritual hospital, somebody make us some video calling us out because we're not bow down to them in their camp. Oh, you are leading people astray. Yeah. Just thumb down their video and then block them. Oh, no, those guys, not only those guys are silent, Brother Phil, but the Most High humiliated them. The Most High exposed them. If that person is a person you used to subscribe, that person disturb your peace, you don't want that happen in the future, you unsubscribe. You don't have to tell this person, oh, this and that. Brothers, please, sisters, please, never go to anybody's channel and tell them, oh, this is not Jacob Stubble and stuff like that. Leave them at peace. Just be at peace. If you're watching that video, they say something that doesn't jig well with your spirit, and that person always bringing you bad news about our people. Only bad news. That person never made something positive that would give the Most High praises. Like the beloved sister Lisa Cabrera have like a strong connection with the black farmers. If you need stuff, order your black stuff from the black farmers. The buggy, I believe I don't want to butcher the name. Okay, the sister brought a lot of positives, but a lot of our people out there, they focus on shocking things, shocking news, always shock the nation. We all people, we suffer from PTSD. We don't need this crap, man. Oh yeah, they expose the brother. Anybody put the link in the video of the video. Better Buggy. That's the thing. Betterbuggy.com. Thank you. You can check it. The Black Farmer. Yeah, they exposed one of the brother. He was involving with the sister Fellatio and the church, and they caught him in the act, and then he confessed and all that. You know, they humiliated him. They made a video about him. He's the one that always come up upon Big Judah and Elder Aiel and stuff. I had a lot of jackasses and scumbags trying to call me out because I say there will be no Jacob's trouble. Oh, my camp said this. The Bible said this. I don't say anything about them. I leave it to the Most High. I'm like, Father, you are the judge. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing. A lot of those guys are silent right now. You know, keep repeating the whole garbage, the same garbage they were repeating back then. They're still repeating that. They're not bringing the people peace. They're not bringing the people peace. Bring the people peace, brother. Always bring the brothers peace. If somebody's disturbing your peace, like I said, if anytime Big Levi coming in and he keep talking about himself, how great he is, how he bought this book, how he bought that book, how great, and how he a great storyteller, how he's bigger than this and that. Invite me over for dinner. I will come. Oh, I will. Invite me over for dinner. And then you put what you need to. You cook this dinner with what you need to cook with this dinner, and then you make sure I go to sleep and I never wake up. You invite me for a boat ride, I will come. Brother Levi, we have a table all by itself for you. Present, I'm here. You take me on a boat ride. Anything like that, brothers. Because I might say something, I become too proud, and the Most High pull the Holy Spirit upon me, and then that's it for me. I become just like Saul, a mort vivant, a dead man walking. Brothers, always, thank you, sister, always eat the meat, spit out the bone. By the power of the Most High vested in me, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Be at peace, brethren. Be at peace. There'll be no Jacob's trouble. I can't make any video in here, only articles. The Most High can take this power anytime you feel like. Be at peace. And I will see you tomorrow, if the Most High wish. At 12 o'clock, we will pray and give the Most High all glories, okay? Thank you for watching. Shalom. Let me play a little music for the people. Oh, my phone died. Anyway, shalom, brothers.